Chapter 9 is about informal reports. By the end of this chapter, you should be able to do the following. I encourage you to answer these questions as we go through the lecture. Section 1 is about writing reports in the digital age. Business reports, it's going to depend on what they are as far as the length of them. So they're going to vary in length, content, form, and formality level. They all have one or more of the following purposes: to convey information, to answer questions, to solve problems. Some reports are short, informal, and bulleted lists are included with status updates. Others will be more formal. For example, for accounting purposes or for a company's financial forecast, they could be up to 100 pages. Routine reports may be generated weekly or monthly, and then you have focus reports, which cover specific problems for situations. And report findings can be presented orally in a meeting or shared online. And they can be delivered through email, we're using a lot of PDF files, websites, slide decks. Report files can be accessed on a company's intranet or saved on cloud servers offsite. There are basic report functions that we're going to look at. You have informational reports, which just present data with analysis or recommendations. So they report information. And this could be, here are some examples that are listed. One of them is a progress report, just reporting the progress of a project. In addition to report data and finding, analytical reports, these are reports that analyze data, they draw conclusions, and typically try to persuade the reader to accept the conclusions and act on the recommendations. Also, you see feasibility reports. It's another term in this chapter. And these reports examine the practicality and advisability of following a course of action. Like if it's feasible to expand a business, this would be an example of a feasibility report. Justification reports are reports that justify or recommend actions such as buying equipment, changing a procedure, filling a position, consolidating departments, or investing funds, also called recommendation reports or internal proposals. The textbook provides the following example of an informational report. A trip report describing an employee's visit to a trade show. This simply provides factual information. An example in the textbook of an analytical report is a report that compares several potential manufacturing locations for a new automobile plant, and you would compare the locations using the same criteria and then provide a recommendation. Figure 9.1 shows you when to use the direct strategy or the indirect strategy for reports. If it's an informational report or an analytical report, then you would use the direct strategy. And you'd use it if readers are informed or eager to have results first, or if readers are supported. If it's an analytical report where you need to educate the readers, or the readers need to be persuaded, or the readers may be disappointed or hostile, use the indirect strategy. So you will use the indirect strategy for an analytical report, where you will give your recommendations at the end. Model Document 9.1 shows an informational compliance report. You see that they use a letterhead stationery, and you use this for an informal report that's addressed to an outsider. So here's the outsider's address. It includes a quick subject line for quick comprehension so they know what this letter is about. Here we are with the bullets again. This is a great way to concisely present the overview. And then over here it says it presents facts without analysis or recommendations. Remember, this is just supplying information. And then it closes politely with contact information and a look forward. And then you can see here that you want to organize the report into introduction, body, and summary. You want to single space the body but double space between paragraphs, and then set your margins to 1 to 1.25 inches. And this last slide talks about the two writing styles. You have informal writing style, which is characterized by a friendly tone, uses first person pronouns in shorter sentences. It's often used to send short internal business reports to familiar audiences on non-controversial topics. So this is more internal. So you can remember internal is within, so it can be informal. Formal writing style is characterized by objectivity, authority, and impartiality. It is appropriate for proposals and long research reports. I love this figure in your textbook. It compares informal to formal, when you should use those, and then the overall effect, the writing style characteristics. So you can see I wanted to mention first person. When it's informal, you can say I, us, we, but when it's formal, you want to use third person, the researcher, the writer, and then use passive voice. The study was conducted. When you're doing informal, you can say I conducted the study. So this is a great comparison of the informal writing style and the formal writing style. And that concludes section 1.